Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on December 16th, 2022. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Do, giving you our space weather update, as well earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Looking at a very active sun right now. We've seen over 40 solar flares in the past 48 hours. Looking at 304 angstroms here. We can see a large plasma filament lifting from that northwestern limb, and as well another plasma filament quickly shooting away from our sun. Look in the last 48 hours incoming. You can see a couple blasts taking off from the backside of the sun, but also we do have some cresting activity right there on the right-hand side. Looking at the last 48 hours outgoing, a pretty active sunspot there. It produced about 8 M-class solar flares. And that was that quickly forming sunspot which I had talked about days ago. It's a very active region, to say the least. Closer look here at that large plasma filament erecting from the surface and shooting away very quickly. Accelerated plasma stream. Looking at multi-spectrum, you can see all of the last 48 hours of events. Notable there in the northwestern limb, watching that huge plasma filament take off. As well, plasma filament on the northeastern side. And that very active outgoing sunspot. 193 angstroms here, and we can see the darkened regions, which are the coronal holes, as we do have one in the northern hemisphere and one in the southern hemisphere stretched out. Right underneath, two pretty active sunspot regions, Earth-facing position. Now we are expecting some space weather here tonight and into the 18th. Another look at all of the last 48 hours of events, 40 solar flares in 48 hours. I don't think I've ever seen the sun this active for a 48-hour period. Pretty amazing to be able to spectate all of this. Really grateful towards all of the people who make that possible, the Solar Dynamics Observatory. Looking here at the solar X-ray flux, as you can see, it hopped up into a very strong M5 class yesterday, and 3 major M-class solar flares today. Geomagnetic activity is elevated. ISWA space prediction spiral showing that huge blast taking off from the backside of the sun yet again at Venus. So that's twice this week that Venus has been blasted by a backside solar blast. Wow. Waiting for that solar wind stream to affect Earth here in the next 24 to 36 hours. Looking at LASCO 2. Very active indeed. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and as well for subscribing to Daily Events Worldwide. Welcome all new family members. Please don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss an update. Looking at LASCO 3 here. Last 48 hours of events, you can see all of those incoming particles starting to affect the view. That is all Earth-facing stuff. Cosmic energy, that's right. Looking at the geospace magnetosphere, this is what our magnetosphere looks like right now, our shield, as we are being hit by just over 350 kilometer per second solar winds. And it's been streamlined, but 166 solar X-ray flux is very strong. This is our pressure. Watch for that to change over the next 24 to 36 hours. You'll see it change in the next update tomorrow. Schumann resonance for today is a power of 7. Another low power. Amplitude of 7, a power of 4, quality of 9. Now let's get to earthquakes across the world, as we're sitting at about 250 earthquakes. Seeing an earthquake swarm, Puerto Rico, but no large earthquakes to really talk about. But we do have some pretty deep ones to mention for sure. We're going to start out here in Hawaii, as we did see a 4.0 earthquake today north of the Hawaiian island, Hana, Hawaii, as well a 3.3 there just recently. And as I said, Kilauea has now filled up its crater lake again. Alaska, largest through the region, at Atka, Alaska, 4.2. Minor activity growing up into Anchorage. Across the North American plate, not too much to talk about. No major swarms, but we are swarming here in Puerto Rico. Towards the Virgin Islands, 3.9 earthquake there was the largest. And as well, Peru is seeing a 5.0 earthquake today and a 4.6 as well, just southern there. 5.0 earthquake here to report South Sandwich Islands. Scotia Plate still kind of active. Expecting something bigger here really soon. 4.6 here in China, and as well a 4.7 Myanmar, 16-kilometer depth. We get over into Indonesia, where Krakatoa was elevated yesterday. 4.9 earthquake there ringing out. As well, a 4.7 there. Eastern Indonesia, Kabar. And as well, Philippines seeing a 5.0 earthquake today. 4.5 there off the coast of Taiwan. And as well, 4.5s, 4.6s off the coast of Japan. And then we get to Fiji, where we have a very deep earthquake. 4.4, 654-kilometer depth. But 3 very deep earthquakes here today is a little bit concerning. We can expect a larger, shallow earthquake to follow. So please stay aware, prepared, and stay tuned to Daily Events Worldwide. I will keep you updated. Having a look here at the Pacific Disaster Center, showing the most recent satellite imagery, and as well pointing out the most recent volcanoes getting updated. Looking at Reventador in Ecuador, Popo in Mexico, 183 active hazards today. Many of them are floods across the world. It's hard to find any volcanoes. Here we are, Sabancaya in Peru. Sangay in Ecuador. Nevadas de Ruiz in Colombia. Fuego, Guatemala. As well, Ebico in Russia. Sheveluch in Russia. Semeru, Indonesia. And that's over the past 18 hours. So seeing about 9 volcanoes getting updated today. 2 very large low-pressure systems still in the northern hemisphere, churning. One of them in the mid-Atlantic there, heading towards Spain. And the other one just seems to be lingering over eastern Canada and the United States. Large system in the North Pacific as well, heading towards eastern Russia. Extreme heat temperatures being reported through parts of Northern Territory of Australia. There's that big low pressure system I was talking about in the middle of the Atlantic, heading towards Spain in the long range. And as well, we still have one tropical system to talk about, not really named yet. Tropical Storm 7 is still heading westwards towards the Sea of Yemen. Having a look here, windy.com showing the weather forecast for the next few days. Got some stormy weather moving into Florida and as well all up the East Coast by this weekend coming up. Next weekend, just before Christmas. But we're going to be seeing some really cold temperatures follow around here. Probably could see a foot of snow through parts of Ontario in this big storm. Watch for extreme weather all along the coastline here, Louisiana, and then into Florida and Bahamas. And then we've got a big low off the coast of United States and Canada. Snow moving in for Alberta, heading eastward, and then that low will quickly move in to British Columbia, bringing heavy rains, heavy snowfall to a lot of regions. Some pretty big systems across the northern hemisphere right now, as noted a few days ago in the video. But definitely going to see a white Christmas all across Canada, and as well half of the United States. Overlooking South America and Africa, still two lines of atmospheric rivers stretching off the continents, heading towards the South Pole. Extreme weather will be moving into parts of Bolivia. Overlooking Europe, low pressure center through central parts of Europe, Italy, heading into Russia. And then we've got two lows that will be heading in off the North Atlantic. And cold temperatures will be moving in. Overlooking Southeast Asia, West Pacific, and Australia. Watch for stormy conditions as things are heating up through the northern parts of Australia. And possible another cyclone heading towards southern India. And very windy and snowy conditions for Japan. Now let's have a look at the temperature here for the next few days forecast. Still very cool in parts of southeastern Australia, but heating up in the north. And anytime we get a system affecting you within these temperatures, are going to see some extreme weather. Overlooking North America. Right up until Christmas, we've got this big blob of extreme cold heading in at minus 34 through parts of northern BC. But watch, it gets even colder and even further south. Minus 30 through southern Alberta. And then by Wednesday, Thursday, watch for that cold air to funnel down as far south as Texas. Minus 27 in Nebraska. And minus double digits through Texas as well. Boy, oh boy, our atmosphere is changing. Stay aware and prepared, everybody, and I appreciate you watching today. If you enjoyed all of this information shared here, please smack that like button and maybe share with your friends and family. Much love. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your daily due. Bye-bye now. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.